Live.
Live on now. Okay, we live here too. All right, Shalom family. Peace and blessing to the chosen, the 12 tribes scattered abroad. All praise and glory and honor goes to the Most High, the creator of all things, the invisible, those things that have existed, and then the people even, who perished the way they did, who created the things in that time, in the past, and even in the present and things to come. The Father lights, the Ancient of Days, the same one who woke each and every one of us up this day and gave the decree that we not be dead corpses in our beds, on couches or pallets or anywhere else, but He's been merciful to us all throughout the week, even bringing us to this point. So all praise and glory and honor goes to the Most High.
All praise.
Come. Forget about the mic. So tonight we want to talk about basically, brothers and sisters on the path and those who not on the path, the broad way and the narrow path, or seeing that, the Father bringing us into the truth. A lot of times we come from a world of darkness and sin and, a surplus of it. And then we come into the light and we get to a point where we weary. You get tired, you get frustrated, you get impatient a lot of times. It's me, myself, sometimes I find myself feeling like, man, I don't even know if I should part my lips to try to teach, because it seems like people not listening to it. All right, but with that, it goes with the verse where the Most High told us, that we got to endure to the end. All right, and then along with that, keeping ourselves aware that as we minister to brothers and sisters, to try to spread the gospel and the truth, when we do that, there's a spiritual war, it's a spiritual battle. And a lot of times when we're coming across people who not listening, it can wear you down. All right, so you have to be refreshed, you have to be re-strengthened. I didn't know the reason why those people are choosing the broad path, the broad way, which leads to destruction. All right, so to open up with it, let's get Matthew 11 and 15. Shalom. Love Blaze V, Brian TYBG Bush. When y'all come in, hit that like button for us. All right, so you can alert the other brothers and sisters so that they can hear the word as well. Pray y'all week been going good so far. All right, and those looking on to, I say this, talking about the new year real quick. I just to put it in the sense of it, when we talk about people perishing, people dying, a dead body, their body becomes cold. It loses its heat. Their corpse becomes a cold body with no heat in it. The temperature drops. All right, but a person that's alive, you have a temperature, you warm, I would think. You're not an alien, a reptilian, or whatever. But anyhow, just like that, the end of the year is cold. The grass is dead, there's nothing growing, there's nothing blooming. The trees and everything is lifeless. It's the end of the year. So when spring come around, the flowers begin back to bloom, the trees bloom, you see the bees come back, the temperature warms back up, life springs forth. That's the actual beginning of the new year. All right, so just getting it out there to for edification of those looking on. All right, so go ahead with Matthew 11 and 15.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 11, verse 15. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.
All right, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. He or she that have ears to hear, let them hear. This word is not for everybody. Getting straight to it and landing on to everyone. We know it's going to be people who are going to disagree, who don't want to hear it. This word is not for you then. It's for the target who the Most High set for this night, this hour, to receive the word and the message and be strengthened from it, to gain edification, and to be more fortified in their faith. But if you don't want to hear, you want to be a scoffer, so be it. Broad and wide is the path. So let's get there. Matthew 7. He that have an ear, let him hear. So this word coming out, you can understand it, you can receive it. All praise it to the Most High for that. All right, and even on the flip side, those who reject it, all praise to the Most High for that too, because we still get the blood off our hands. The word still go forth. You won't be able to deny it on Judgment Day. Shalom, Josiah. Jay Grant, shalom, up. Hit that like button for me, King. Family, I pray everything good on y'all, man. All right, Matthew 7:13. What do you say?
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate.
All right, enter ye in at the straight gate. All right, that word there is spelled S-T-R-A-I-T. The straight gate, meaning this is not a comfortable path, brothers and sisters. This thing ain't easy. It's not a cakewalk. You want to talk about the hard life? This is a hard life. Living in a world where everything is set up against you. Living in a world where it's laws and things made being presented to you and promoted at all times against the lifestyle you live, which is abiding the commandments of the Most High God and keeping the faith in Christ. To where we live in a place where psychic reading houses is on our blocks.
Yeah.
We live in a place where you got people who they lift up amongst all the population, what we'll call celebrities, use them as puppets to draw other people in, and the way that they operate and what they glorify draws more people into a sinful lifestyle. Tattoos, you want to get hit, you want your whole sleeve covered. You know what I'm saying? You want to go get the blonde hair. The women dressing like harlots, teaching the children, the little girls to do the same thing. Men glorifying lifestyle to be pimps and players and sorcerers, selling dope, crack, and whatever else. Being robbers, killers, and thieves. All right, even what I'm recalling and seeing that this is a part of why so many people go to the Broadway. But on the flip side, those of us who said, I reject it. I don't want to live that lifestyle. I desire discipline from the Most High God to lead me. I desire correction, and I want to know who that is, the one who made everything. I want to be approved of in his sight. And to do that, we have to deny ourselves day in and day out, daily. All right, read that again, King.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate.
All right, enter in at the straight gate. Go ahead.
For wide is the gate, and broad is the way.
Broad is the way. Go ahead.
That leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
All right, broad is the way. They lead to destruction. And it said, many there be that go in thereat. All right, their path is so comfortable, where everything is smooth and easy. It really ain't no problem. You know, you're having fun all the time. On the broad path is comfortable. Many people can get on. But the straight and narrow path, we got to go in single file order in order to get to the gate. So you got to be cautious of where your feet land and your steps and how you taking those steps. All right? But it said that broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Go here with verse 14.
Verse 14. Because straight is the gate.
Straight is the gate.
And narrow is the way which leadeth unto life. And few there be that find it.
All right. Straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, and free there be that find it. So it's only the free people that's going to be able to make the decision to say, everything that this world promotes and what it presents to me to be right, I don't want that. I want to live the life that's approved, that I know the Most High will approve of. And that take a lot of strength, brothers and sisters. You can't be weak living this lifestyle. Talking about living in a world where you get agitated for the wickedness. Give me Ecclesiastes 7:7. You get agitated by the wickedness that's being promoted. You know what I mean? I understand that a lot of us, the environments that we were raised in got a lot to do with how we operate. All right, but nonetheless, just like what somebody told me before, young lady, she made mention of her daughter's friend selling her body. All right, she said that her mother, her daughter's friend mother, sold her out, prostitute her since she was like 12. So now that she's older, she's still doing it. And the young lady was telling me that, you know, basically she trapped in that lifestyle, or this against her will. Now we have strongholds and demons and, you know, different things that You might be scarred by these events and situations and experiences, but nonetheless, at the end of the day, it's your choice. If you were molested as a child, when you grow up, if you think that there's a reason for you to be a molester, understand this. You got another spirit operating in you. If anything, it should make you say, I don't want to do that. Just like in our single parent households. You got women out here, men out here who come from single parent households. Didn't have a father there or didn't have a mother there. And so then they get in a relationship with somebody, have a child with that man trying to be in his son or his daughter life, and that woman keep him from his child. To therefore make her own son or daughter be forced into a lifestyle without a father. The same life that she witnessed. And in their minds, they make that to be something that's approved of, acceptable. All right, but this on another note. But it said, broad is the way that lead to destruction, and narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, and through that we that find it. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 3. Mm-hmm. So on that note, though, now I told you to get Ecclesiastes 7. Get there for me.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Mm-hmm. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
All right, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So when I'm upset about what the world promote all this wickedness, every time they show us in the news, even now, they saying Black Hebrew Israelites, which I don't consent to that title. Black Hebrew Israelites are running up in kosher buildings, shooting people, running up to Hanukkah festival, stabbing people. This is a part of the program, brothers and sisters, to make us the target, to put us on the forefront, just like they talking about bringing out the task force, to now, we're going to be the people like what they talk about in 2nd Esdras 16. Said a great insurrection was going to be held on those people that fear the Most High. That prophecy being fulfilled right now. Those who choosing to keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith in Christ, you going to be the target. Why? Because you stand as a representative and a sign against the dark kingdom. As long as you say homosexuality or a sodomite lifestyle, that's against the Most High. As long as you believe that and you can stand and say that, we need to get rid of him. We need to get rid of her. Because she against the program. He's against the program. All right, so as long as you live, that Psalm 94:16 is standing firm. That means you are a representative of the light. And a representative and a reminder of the judgment that they have to face. Get that, read that again. Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Mm-hmm. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, mm-hmm. and a gift destroyeth the heart. All right, let me address this too. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, but it's not to the point where you so mad till you go and harm somebody, to where now you acting in violence. No, this is not what we tell you. Be angry and sin not. So let me clear that up before the naysayers and gainsayers and the agents and Satan's workers. We're not encouraging violence to be taking place or for you to get engaged in violence. But to tell you, when you see this oppression, it should move you. You shouldn't be comfortable with this word. Every time you cut the radio on, you're hearing about nothing but nonsense. Every time you turn the TV on, you're seeing nothing but wickedness. Children can't even watch cartoons no more because it's 2 men on there kissing. It's 2 women on there kissing. Can't watch cartoons no more because they doing real spells in the cartoons. Real witchcraft. Yeah. This is the world and time that we're living in. And there's a lot of people who comfortable with it and they don't see that as a problem. So they let us know that those are not wise people. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 3. But, brother and sister, be strong, be encouraged. I know it's a lot of us who are out here scattered across the 4 corners of earth. Some of us walking by ourselves in this walk. Some of us don't have a support system. You don't have a place to gather. But the Most High plucked you out. The Most High brought you out from their family tree. You know, or the team of partners and homies as you thought it was.
spared your life and brought you into the light, into the truth. And he did it for a reason. I go here with Jeremiah 3 and 14. Go ahead,
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Turn, O backsliding children.
Go ahead with that. I want that one of a family, two of a city, though.
Mm.
Go ahead.
All right.
Read that.
Verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children.
Come, turn old backsliding children. Because even as we discuss these paths, brothers and sisters, it's some who've been on the narrow path. You've been in the truth, but then you got tired, you got weary, you got stressed out, you got discouraged, you had got betrayed, you were being faithful, but the people around you wasn't, and it hurt you, and it drove you to go back into the world. All right, but the Most High said, turn old backsliding children. Don't look, you know it ain't no life in that path. You going back to the same thing that you just came from. It ain't nothing new. You ain't missed a beat since you've been gone. You got brothers and sisters even now doing the same thing. You've been smoking weed since you was 12. Here you is 65 doing the same thing. You've been in the street since you was 12 years old, going down on Beale Street, going out to parties, clubs, and so on and so forth. And you 35 doing the same thing. That's what the circle look like. But the Most High said, no, I'm gonna bring you out of it. Said, turn, O backsliding children. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children,
Mm-hmm.
saith the Lord, for I am married unto you,
Mm-hmm.
and I will take you one of a city and two of a family.
All right, I will take you one of a city. Look at the ratio, brothers and sisters. He said, the Most High said, I'll take one of a city. One person is believing. One person is trying to stand for righteousness. Who's trying to be a light in a dark place. I take one person out the whole city. All right, and what is after that?
And two of a family.
Two of a family. Two of a family. You remember the family reunion? Plenty of people. And we're talking about from the elders on down to the unborn in these families. On both sides. You the outcasts. You the ones, oh, hey, he crazy. You crazy because you on a narrow path. You crazy because you don't want to listen to the foolishness. You crazy because you don't want to get drunk and high. You crazy because you telling bro, hey man, don't be snorting them pills. Don't be doing that. You crazy for that. But the Most High said you're going to take one of a city and two of a family. Small ratio. Let's get that St. John. St. John chapter 6. So even when we minister though, brothers and sisters, when we seeking to wake up those who are asleep to the truth, when we seeking to wake up those who are walking in darkness, and a lot of times these people, they fearful. They don't want, they see the truth, they know the truth, but they afraid to stand for it. Because of those things that I mentioned, somebody gonna call them lame. Somebody gonna say they're weak. Somebody gonna say they crazy. They looking for stripes. They want to gain stripes with their partners instead of the Most High. But on that case though, everybody not gonna wake up. Everybody not gonna receive the truth. So the Most High then gave us a legend in the scriptures to warn us, to let us know, look, you ain't got to worry yourself out. Get that St. John 6 and 44.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of St. John, chapter 6, verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father, which have sent him, which have sent me, draw him.
All right, no man can come to Christ, which is the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to that door unless the Father draws. So what is he saying? There's a lot of people around here saying that they Christians or they love Christ, they love God, they love the Most High. But it's a lot of people who we trying to get to come to the Most High, to come into the truth. It's not in them, brothers and sisters. They not being drawn by the Father. So they not going to believe in Christ. Yeah, they going to say Christ didn't exist. Yeah, they going to say it's The Father said he didn't give his glory to nobody, not understanding the scriptures, not even understanding the function of Christ. So everybody ain't gonna come to the Most High because it's not in them. And in this walk to live this life, from where we come from, man, it got to be in you. Otherwise, it's gonna be a phase. Yeah, you will start off keeping your Sabbath, wearing your fringes, growing your beard, rocking your head wrap, keeping the holy days, not eating the pork. Yeah, you will start off like that. But in the long run, you lead the path because really it was just a trend for you. It was something to do. It was fun. But it ain't going to be fun when you get to the gate that you're going through. Whether it be the straight gate that lead to life, or whether it be the broad way and the broad gate that lead to destruction. All right, let's go with, did you finish that verse out? Finish that verse.
And I will raise him up at the last day.
All right, and the Most High gonna raise them up at the last day. All right, even in these days and times, just like he had prophets in the old time to warn the people of destruction and to repent. In these days and times, in the last days, he got workers too. But what path are you on, brothers and sisters? Are you on a narrow path or are you on the broad way? All right, let's go to St. John 4:22. Shalom, 12 lions welcome. I bless you too, family. I can't tell whether you're Agua or Agua, but bless you. All those tuning in, taking the time, even what the scripture tells us in Malachi or chapter 3, said the Most High had a book of remembrance open for those who fear him and spoke often on his name, who spoke about him. So right now we could be doing anything, brothers and sisters. But we chose this night, this day and hour to say, man, let's get in the script. Let's hear the word of the Most High. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Past 8 o'clock. Tired and everything. Yeah, we done went to the plantation and everything. We didn't have a day. But making a sacrifice to say, man, this word needs to get put out. All right, what I tell you to get?
John 4:22.
Go ahead.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 4, verse 22.
Read.
Ye worship, ye know not what.
Ye worship, ye know not what. Go ahead.
We know what we worship.
We know what we worship.
For salvation is of the Jews.
Right, keep reading.
Verse 23. But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
All right. Christ was telling the people then, the hour is coming, and even now, where the true worshipers will worship in truth and in spirit. So what are we doing with this verse? Now we're talking about the broad way of those who come into the understanding to know, yeah, it's a such thing as the Most High, God. Yeah, we have enemies out here, spirits and Satan and demons and devils. But still, even those people get caught up to where they don't have truth. They have the spirit. They understand spiritual warfare, but they don't have the truth. And then even on the flip side, family, you got those of us who come into the truth. Yeah, we know what the book say, but we don't believe in the spiritual aspects. He said those who come is going to come to time where they worship in truth and spirit. All right, let's go to 2 Corinthians 11. I want to touch on something else real quick. 2 Corinthians 11. So another reason for people being on the broad way, the reason people do reject to live a life, Christ-like life, because you went into this church and you found out that the pastor was sleeping with several women in the church, or the pastor playing with the money in the church, or you needed help from the church and he turned you away. It's a lot of people who really deep down inside, they already hate Christ. But they looking for an excuse to say, see, I told you, we shouldn't have been going to church anyway. God ain't real. They looking for an excuse to not believe and to not live their life. Why? Because they don't want discipline. They want to live lawless. They want to live a life where they ain't got to practice no type of constraint or control. So they say, yeah, Now you can't go to no church. Now I haven't understand. You can't blame that just because that one man did that that's everybody. You can't say that. Even though there's a lot of them like that. But you can't get mad at him because what he did and then turn around and say, well, because he did that, God ain't real. All right, so people look for excuses to blame. But this what's going on though. Just like the Most High got ministers and servants, Satan do too. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 13.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 13. For such are false apostles.
For such are false apostles. Go ahead.
Deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
All right, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
All right, no marvel. It ain't no surprise. We're not astonished at this or amazed at this. We're not caught off guard at this fact. It said that no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So Satan will come to you all smooth and nice. Well, he'll come to you in the suit and tie, with the Bible in his hand. Or in our case, he'll come to you with the fringes on. Come to you with the head wrap and the dress on. Yeah, Satan using people out here. He said, no marvel, Satan himself is transformed to an angel of light. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
All right, so if we know that Satan, if the head honcho of the evil, in this case, if he transformed himself to an angel of light, the people that follow him, they gonna do the same thing. They gonna flourish like they ministers of righteousness. Yeah, come on in. This Sunday, you've been dealing with the bills. Everybody dealing with it. Excuse me. Everybody dealing with bills. So that's all he just talking about what's normal. And drawing, oh, he spoke to me today. But then you lead her, ain't no anointing, ain't no holiness, ain't no transformation into righteousness, ain't no pricking of the heart to make you do anything different. Only thing different was last Sunday, he had you to give him $20. This Sunday, he said he heard in the spirit, everybody can give $100. So instead of giving 20, you just gave 100 this time. That's the only thing different. All right, read that again, okay? We'll finish it out. So like,
finish in verse 15. Whose end shall be according to their works.
All right, whose end shall be according to their work. Deceitfulness, you destroying lives, you playing with the word of the Most High. All right. At the end of that broad way is destruction. Even like so many people, I talked to a brother before. He was talking about T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen. He say, "Why you see how many people come to his church?" Brother, it don't matter about the numbers. It don't matter. It's a lot of people running into these churches blind. And the one who teaching them is blind. So it's a big pool full of people who go into the frame because they don't have the truth. They don't have the understanding. So the numbers don't matter because it said broad is the way. It's going to be more people going into hell than more people going into the New Jerusalem. Because so many people are going to be choosing what the world offers. They're going to choose their pleasure in this time, in this life. They're going to choose their riches, glory, and honor on this side of the dirt. They want it right now. And I'm talking about something that'll hit you with something else. That's the spirit behind what convenience is today. We come from a time period where when we went to stores, I can go in here and talk to this man face to face. Yeah, let me get so-and-so. Or go in there and get it myself. But now it's dwindling down to where less contact with other people. Let me get you so focused and prone to using technology to you can just order it off Amazon. Now guess what? Now when they ship their package to you by drone or whatever, That mail or however they do it, well, you ain't got to see the person. No. At the same time, you losing concern, care, affection for the next person. To the concern of life. Their wall being broken down, like it say in the last days. It said without what it say, natural affection. Come. Yep. Desensitized. What I tell you to get on? Okay, let's go to Hosea 5.
I say, if you don't mind, Ken, let me sow a scripture right quick
Go
based
ahead.
on what you're bringing out, because that's profound through the Spirit. Let's get Hebrews chapter 13. Let's start at verse 15. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 15.
All right. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 15. So like, let me make sure I'm here. Yeah. It says, so like again, Hebrews 13, verse 15. By him, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually.
You see that? So by him, referring to Christ, so it says, therefore, let us offer the sacrifice of praise to God continually. Let's see how we do that. What's the expression of that? Let's see.
Continually, there is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name.
You see that? So the fruit of our lips, right? So that which comes out of our mouth, let it be to the glorifying and uplifting of the Heavenly Father, right? So it says, by the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name, holding it in high esteem, holding it in high regard, right? In its sacred divinity, right? So it says, by him, through Christ, let us offer the sacrifice of praise, right? How else can we do that but besides communication,